Hi, I'm Andy,
And I'm Ty.
and we're here today to talk to you about DACA, also known as the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, the immigration policy, and what should be done about it. And Ty, what do you think should be done about it?
Well, right now, I think that Donald Trump is trying to repeal a very good program. Repealing it would only hurt the country in a multitude of ways, but two specifically that I would like to talk about today is the moral portion and the economic portion of it. Economically, we can't even begin to mention the amounts of dollars that the country would suffer by losing from the companies trying to replace the workers and the time spent trying to find suitable workers. Um, but what do you think about the economic portion?
I totally agree with you about that. How like the companies there are going to spend so much time and energy and dollars trying to find good replacements, as well as they're going to lose hundreds of thousands of people. And though they only bring in a small portion of those of the income for those companies, it all adds up. And
Definitely.
there's hundreds of thousands of people just of the income that for the companies they're just losing, and because of those who are trying to repeal this, like President Trump. And it also brings up the moral reason because it's also a loss of income for those immigrant families of the Dreamers and those parents that are deported now. How those families survive? What are your thoughts about this?
I like how you bring up families and moral standpoint because when you think about repealing the act, you're ultimately thinking about when you take away this act, you also take away people from the country, and not in some cases it's not all of the people. You know what I'm saying? It's specific ones. You're ripping apart families. You could be taking kids away from parents, parents away from kids, and it could really go either way. But I think that when we discuss repealing DACA, we should think about the people who really had no choice. Like the people who were brought here in backpacks, trunks, and in some cases the arms of their parents. And you really can't try. You really cannot let the sins of their fathers affect them, because they really had no say in it. All their parents were trying to do is just give them a better life, and you really can't blame anyone for trying to make a better life for their children.
Definitely, definitely. I also mentioned in the beginning that we're going to be talking about the immigration policy and how and what should be done about it. And I think that the immigration policy, it's good so far, but it definitely could use a little more like beefing up, like more stricter policies, because there are some people that get in here illegally, like they lift up the fence and try to climb under, or they try to literally die trying to get in here from Cuba to go to Florida or anywhere really. What are your thoughts about that? I think they should be more
Well,
strict, but
well, I like the analogy that you use of people trying to go under the fence, or in this case, trying to go around the wall.
yeah,
But I think that the program is nice. Could use a little bit of work. Everything needs a little bit of adjustments. Not everything's perfect.
oh yeah,
Um, and I liked how you mentioned that people are dying to try and get into the country, and we understand that we can't let everyone in.
yes,
There has to be a proper background check. There has to be certain measures taken. People have to follow the rules and the policies that we have here, and I feel as if though people should be given a better chance to do so.
mm-hmm.
Like the immigration policy should be able to evenly balance out the policies and procedures that they would have to go through here, and also we had to try to get people who are going to work.
That's
You
true.
know,
Yeah,
once we let someone in, we shouldn't just try to let them be on their own or just red flag them for anything that they do. We should be able to evaluate them, see what they're contributing, and make sure that everyone who we let in is hardworking, so that way we don't have to worry about deporting someone who is not contributing.
exactly. And it's a tough debate because it's situations like I read this article, like this reported incident on this past Friday about an illegal immigrant killing two people on a hit and run, and it's situations like this that just make this debate challenging because it's we're fighting for the dreamers, and then some of the dreamers they slip up, they make a mistake, but then it makes them look bad, and it's just tough to fight for them. Um, but there are the counter argument does bring up some points, but I read this one article from The Hill. It says, while protecting illegal aliens from the consequences of breaking the law may make them feel good and virtuous, if they get their way on DACA, the incentives for further law breaking at our border will only increase. Economists call this the moral hazard problem. What that's saying is pretty much if we keep extending this, the line of, okay, we let them do this, then what are we going to let them do next and next and next, to the point where do we draw the line, or in this case, where do we build the wall? And I
Mm.
think that's the main issue at hand.
Speaking about the line, I mean, sometimes you just have to. Sometimes that the line is it's going to be hard to find. You're gonna not really know where to put a pinpoint on it because you want to be able to let people in, but you don't want to be able to let everyone in. And then you also want to make sure that the people that you're letting in just that they're just looking for a better life, you
Yeah.
know. And all in all, I think that what we're trying to say here today is that both programs are great programs, but they both could just use a little bit of fixing up to ensure that everyone gets a fair chance to come into the country.
Exactly. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about the people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's they just want a better life. And if DACA and the immigration policy does that, then I say we should keep DACA, and that the immigration policy should be beefed up, but in favor of the immigrants, because that's all they want. They want to get out of their current situation. They just want to live a better life.